Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Charles Abels, local photographer in and around Prescott Valley, and I hope you enjoy this particular episode because what I'm actually going to do is update you on a couple of things first before we go on to the meat of the matter here in this particular episode. I want to update you that in the Adak, Alaska documentary, four of us Marines having served up there in the late 70s into the mid 80s. We went up there in a reunion and we're making a documentary about this reunion and the fundamental history about Adak. It's coming along well. It's a slow process. It's slice, dice, review, slice, dice, review, final product for each segment as we build this documentary. I'd also like to say that we are in the works where we have an idea where we're going to premiere this documentary. I won't share it now. We still have to have a couple of Zoom meetings before I can tell you where, tell you the dates, but it is soon coming. In addition to that, this year, June, I will be retiring. I will be joining the ranks of retirees. And this leads up to what I've been doing for the past few weeks. Between the documentary and between all the bells and whistles of getting retirement, getting to the point to retire ready, it's taken a bit of my time. So in this episode, what I want to talk to you about is this past Friday and Saturday, I decided to slow it down and just do what I enjoy doing, and that is photography with my Leica M246. If there is ever a digital camera that will slow you down, this is the best camera for it. And frankly, this was the camera I needed. It's granted, it shoots only monochrome. Well, as a matter of fact, let me see. I got my notes here. Let's run some highlights on this camera again, so that way you can understand why I slowed it down and why I purely enjoyed the thrill of photography, taking photographs. It is a Leica M monochrome, typically 246. I believe it was released in production in 2015, which means this camera, maybe not this particular camera, but the model, the series of this camera is 10 years old. This camera is a rangefinder, mirrorless camera. It is a full frame. Full frame, best way I could describe it, full frame is something like it's equivalent to a 35 millimeter film camera. It has a 3:2 aspect ratio only. It has 24 megapixels. It has a manual focus only, so you can only focus this manually. There's no autofocus on this. So you got two options. You can either manual focus or zone focus. Uses Leica M mount lens, and the viewfinder is only optical. There is no digital viewfinder in there. What do they call that? LVF, whatever. It is optical. When you look through the viewfinder and focus, you're only looking through the glass. When you take the photograph, you have no idea what it looks like because you can't see it through the viewfinder. You can only see it on the back with the screen if you choose to check it out. The lens that I picked was actually, most people know me for shooting with 28 millimeter lenses. This round, I decided to shoot with a 35 millimeter lens. It was the Summicron M1.2 by 35 millimeter. Beautiful. Granted, I had to adjust my way of thinking. It wasn't a 28 millimeter, but really it was at a bare bone minimum of thought when composing the photograph. It's a very, very fast lens, and it's a very nice lens. So when I took it out Friday evening at an art show in Prescott or art walk in Prescott, I did fine with it. as I hope the pictures that you see shows you. And the main thrust of the photographs that I'm sharing with you is primarily of the Prescott Arizona's art walk. It's every fourth Friday of the month, and they have an art walk in the downtown Prescott area around the square. So I decided, you know, I'm going to mosey on down there and do some photographing. And I had a young friend show up as well, Corbin. He's a young photographer going to the University of Arizona in Tucson. And he'd come up for the weekend, and we decided to walk around Friday. And he carried a beast of a camera, the Mamiya RZ67, mechanical 120 film camera, beautiful camera. I've never had the opportunity to fire one yet, but nevertheless, to watch him and then to hear the shutter and the mechanism inside that camera, all mechanical, just sent thrill and excitement. It was mind-blowing, and I appreciated what he was doing as a photographer. And so that's fundamentally it. I know that after this episode, I'll resume back to being busy. There are missions to accomplish and things like that, but I hope to be back at a later time to brief you on the 8-act documentary, on my retirement, and share any more or any other photographs, or share photographs of events or whatever. So before I go, I want to say thank you to those who have subscribed to my channel. I want to say that I do appreciate any and all comments that I get on any episodes that I have. I will say that it is a learning curve, especially for me. And without further ado, catch you later.